we don't really vibe that way. Like, you know, it's not like we're sitting and chatting. We don't vibe at all, actually. We don't vibe at all.
I was literally at one word, chalo, chalo, sab mark pe aa gaye, extras hai, place mein, acha, theek hai, chalo, roll, call. But I think it got me into the practice of having a voice, which I think is a good habit for any female to inculcate. And more often than not, in this business and in most professional environments, you're discouraged from having too much of a voice.
Welcome to Film Companion.
Thank you for having me.
You know, they say save the best for last. So this is my last. Spill the tea before I drop my hat in. And I'm so glad that it's with you guys.
We will miss you.
Yeah, I know. It really does feel like a moment.
It is a moment. It is
We
a
should
moment.
have tea after this. We should really have tea after.
And spill
Wait,
some.
what's happening?
This is the last Spill the Tea. So
I didn't know.
Yeah, this is.
Oh my God, Sneha,
Yeah.
Okay, so this. Okay.
okay. So I have had a chance to watch the trailer of Ulajh. So I'm going to drive straight into it. And Janhvi, I'll tell you that I keep going back to this for some reason. But when I watched the trailer, I was immediately taken back to your first public appearance 12 years ago at the launch of People magazine, where people asked her, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she says, I want to be a spy.
A spy.
A spy. Yeah, you said spy. And I was just like, what is this
I think I said unicorn.
but also spy?
That's so weird.
Has there been a fascination with spies?
I think there has been a fascination. Yes, you know, now that you mention it, I remember every time I'd come late to school, we weren't allowed to take the lift. We'd have to and I was on the 5th floor with this heavy bag, and it would just be me on this lonely, dark staircase, and I'd pretend like I was undercover and talking to my caller about all clear and run up the stairs with this heavy bag. So I was always kind of weird, clearly, but also I think all of us are a little fascinated by this espionage world, right? That there's a reason all of these movies do so well and garner so much interest. And I think even in life, all of these espionage stories, conspiracy theories, the stuff that goes on behind the doors, it's
So
fascinating.
what kind of spy were you?
I was the kind that never got anything done. I just kind of report into my caller and then open my tiffin box and sorry, I really didn't have much to offer to the nation.
We hope we can fix that with Ulajh.
I think so. I did a better job in Ulajh for sure.
but you know, also I want to take you back, Sudhanshu, to the first day of shoot of Ulajh, where you posted on your Instagram that I direct each day as though it's my last. I interviewed you 7 years ago for the lovely short that you did, Love. And of course, you've done some incredible work from then to now, but it's also been a long journey as you come to the big theatrical release. How does one direct each day like it's their last? What does that take?
It's firstly, I'm very aware it's a privilege. The amount of resources, the amount of yeses, the amount of cooperation, and you know how many people have to come together to put you in that position. How many people have to trust you to say, let's go on this journey together. It's years in the making. 100,000 things can go wrong before you ever reach that set in front of a camera. So I'm very aware of that privilege. And when that happens, you really do give it everything. You know, and over the years, one gets to hear of stories of films that didn't complete or didn't come out. So, I mean, some people find it morose. I really do try to remind myself not to take it for granted. You know, it's not over till it's over. Every day is an opportunity to make it better. And, you know, the one day sometimes when I felt it's going well is the day screw it up, at least. So I'm always like, be alert, be alert.
I remember after every couple of good days of shoot, he'd send me a message and be like, be vigilant. And he'd be like, you know, we've been doing good, but don't think that's enough. So I was like, I don't, it sounds like a threat, and I don't know if it's for me or for yourself or what's going on. And he was like, just don't slack, you know. I'm not saying that you are, we've been doing good, but just know that we could be bad. So I was like, what is going on?
Where was that coming from?
Do you remember? I remember
Yeah, I do.
exactly the days that he sent me.
No, I think, you know, when it's going well, my reaction is not, oh, great. My reaction is, this is too good to be true. Clearly, you've become complacent. Clearly, you've dropped your guard. You have to, just...
No, so you're also very, we're killing it. You're very like that also.
I don't know. I think when it's not going well, I'm very upbeat. And when it's going well, I'm like, everybody, there's nothing to celebrate. Let's, you know, because eventually I know it's all going to end up in the edit. And we're editing, this film's being edited by Nitin Baid, and
Yes.
he's not going to say like, oh, that's so great. He's going to be like, what you do here and what you do there. And I keep
Nitin has
hearing.
never said a complimentary thing ever. And he's been a part of some classics. I think maybe he's complimented Masang.
Maybe.
And that's about it. I asked him.
10 years ago.
Yeah, and yeah. I don't think
So I think I hear their voice in my head. Ki I'm going to be in post, and then we'll be confronted with all of this. So this is the time to gather ye rosebuds. Have at it. Just collect every goodie you can. You don't know what you'll need.
You know, the two of you, I actually was Googling whether you have ever been together. And of course, there was ghost stories, but you didn't share
we did, yeah.
screen space.
No,
I'm curious to know what your first impressions of each other are. And there's a line in the trailer that says, background checks kaise karte ho? How did you guys like background check each other when you knew you were possibly going to work together? Like, who were you calling?
I didn't call anybody.
Yeah, even I didn't call
I didn't
anyone.
call anybody. I just had because we spent 2 days doing interviews
Promoting, yeah.
together, and I thought she had the, a fun energy and like a little naughty, and then I kind of missed that. Please be naughty. Yeah.
No, there was no scope on our set to be naughty.
No.
That would
Yeah,
be
so-
weird.
Be vigilant.
All of that.
I was
No,
the class
I mean
monitor.
in this environment, in this sort of an environment, we are like, yes, we are talking about the film, we are promoting the film, but I just like, sometimes it's I kind of that energy was there, and I thought that was interesting, and I thought I could work, and then we met. I think when we were like together having some readings and
yeah.
all of those things like that, and she had some ideas that he had shared with me, and I thought that, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's pretty impressive, and she was on the right track. And she had some ideas for my character, which I thought were pretty good. So
I didn't want them to meet. I remember in the
Yeah,
prep
it's-
stage, each of them were like, should we maybe try the scene out? And I'm like, there's no need. Just like in the film, you'll meet for the first time. You should just meet on camera,
No.
see what happens. And each of them was like, this is a terrible
No,
idea.
we're professional
We
actors.
need to
We know how to get the job done.
Will you show her your t-shirt?
Oh yeah.
Do you agree?
No, she doesn't agree. The thing is like the thing that I remember through the shoot is like whenever she has to like we are having the shooting together, she needs like, Gulshan, make me laugh, and I'm like, because my social media bio is like मेरा sense of humor बहुत अच्छा है, धीरे-धीरे आपको समझ में आ जाएगा, and then when Janhvi says make me laugh, I have no clue what to do.
Yeah, and literally by the end of the take, I'm like,
And then she's
this.
laughing on her own. So well. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you making me suffer? You can laugh on your own, and you're doing such a great job. Why do you need me to make you laugh?
It was just for kicks.
No, I also have a theory about the both of you from my independent interviews with both of you, okay? Like, she has always told me that unless she cries and screams and hurts herself, she doesn't feel like she's bleeding enough for her art. You, on the other hand, have told me that if you get too eager, you lose the plot.
Yeah, I don't want to like, I do.
Is it safe to say they're just very, very different
Completely
actors?
different. Completely. In fact, I mean, we're here with Janhvi and we're here with Gulshan right
You
now.
pointed at the wrong
No.
person with the wrong. We're here with Janhvi.
We're here with Janhvi and Gulshan, but one of the privileges of making this film was collecting this insane ensemble.
Yeah.
The thing I was trying to get to is 12 of these actors, and not one of them has any overlap. Not in method, not in preference, not in terms of how they like to be directed.
I think me and Roshan are quite similar.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No. Completely
if you put a
different
beard
breakdowns.
on you, the two of you will be exactly the same. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
No, completely.
Now it feels like Gulshan's entered the conversation. No, but tell me,
But
what
no,
do you think
completely,
about
yeah.
the two of your processes? Do you feel like...
Yeah, sure. She has her own approach. Sometimes it's fun. I don't really care that... in fact, I don't want the other actors to have the same process, because it also pushes you differently sometimes. Because I go there with my preparation and whatever discussions I've had with him, and then I want to be surprised also. I want to sometimes go to a place where I wouldn't go. And that happens sometimes where a director pushes you, or your co-actors, they do something, or they have an approach which kind of, impulsively I'm thinking, I need to respond to what they have done. So I want to be surprised. So it's, I don't really care if they have a different process.
He would surprise me quite a bit with the things that he would do, a lot. And I think that made my job very easy, because then all I had to do was react to how unpredictable he was being, which I think Gulshan is one such actor that has really nailed being unpredictable very effortlessly on screen. No matter how, even though his character on paper more often than not has been unpredictable in a lot of the stuff that he's done, I don't think as an audience member you can ever gauge where his reactions or his impulses are going to take him, which I think is a very unique asset to have as an actor.
Off screen as well.
I think she's absolutely right. Well done. She's right. I agree with what
She is right. To interview as well is the most unpredictable.
I'm sure. To interact with as well.
And you know, I'm going to be, we don't really vibe that way. Like, you know, it's not like we're sitting and chatting. We don't vibe at all, actually. We don't vibe at all. I don't think she finds me funny or interesting or anything like that.
I think this is the funniest thing you've said, though.
Yeah, we don't.
I
I
just
was
found
aware
you
of it,
hilarious.
like long back. Like really early on, I was like, no, bro, this is like, we're not vibing. This is not happening. So it's not going to be like we're going to spend time, get to know somebody and use that familiarity in the performance. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That happens at other places with other actors. You know, you vibe like that. Not necessarily become friends, but you find something to sort of something common. You find something interesting about them or something to do together and things like that.
I want to know where this is going.
But no. But I'm saying that. But I never felt that was getting in the way of like us doing the scenes.
Sure.
It didn't feel like, oh, I'm not getting enough or something is lacking. I never felt that. So when we would watch the like, you know, he wouldn't allow us to see the.
Yeah, he wouldn't, but
the
he would
monitor,
break the
but I would
rules.
like, yeah.
One time.
And he would cry, and I would placate.
One time.
I would watch it and I never really, and even when we were doing the song sequence and things like that, I felt that, you know, it's there, like it's whatever like we were trying to achieve, whatever he wants it to be, all of that is coming together, and that's because she's a professional actor and she is doing her job.
Yeah.
I got a call once on set saying, I feel you and Gulshan should go for coffee together.
He called me.
No, I didn't call.
He called me. That's
She's like, I think y'all should go for coffee because between takes y'all aren't cracking jokes.
No, yeah,
And I'm like,
absolutely.
I
See,
don't,
I'm right. See, I'm
I
not
don't
making
know.
stuff.
I don't. And maybe you should laugh at his jokes because otherwise he might be feeling a little intimidated
Not at
or I
all.
don't know what's happening. Like maybe y'all should go for coffee. And I was like, I think, honestly, I think it was, for the lack of a better word, we were. It was a high stress environment, the way that we were shooting. Like he said, it was a privilege to be able to make the film. I think we got really lucky that Janhvi believed in us enough to send us to London, but we really packed in way more than we were capable of doing. So every day was very high stress. And I think as an actor, especially on this film, I think they empowered me so much, too much, to get so involved in things that I was almost an AD and
She's a very good AD.
and like a
Any
vigilante
filmmakers watching this,
on set.
hire
I
her.
was just I was literally at one word, chalo सब mark पे आ गए, extras है, place में अच्छा ठीक है, चलो roll, call.
What do you mean one time? That was like every other day.
Every day. So I was like,
She was pulling crew members in saying, Sudhanshu, not enough extras. Let's go. Yanking people, jacket badlo, come in the shot.
and you know, people कहते रहते हैं कि हाँ film बन रही है, बड़ी बात है, privilege है, ये है, वो है. But I got lucky. And I pushed and I fought to be a part of this film, and they believed in me enough and felt it was enough to make it with me. But that, I think, in a way, handicapped them. I think.
I don't think so.
And so there was a pressure to make the day, to make the film in a way that, of course, Janhvi went above and beyond always. But I knew that they could have had it easier if they had, like, of course, an Alia Bhatt or a Deepika Padukone leading the film. You know what I mean? People don't anticipate that all of these things play a part.
Yeah, and it's part of it is them having a greedy director like me who won't compromise on the page, won't compromise on requirements, will go to London, wants to shoot on location, will not build a set, will do everything in long takes, won't compromise on cheating a close or put any kind of...
So basically every day we were biting off more than we could chew.
Every day.
So every day was like... And then
going
I
to
think,
war.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like just giving you an anecdote, Sneha. Day one of our shoot was one of the most important sequences. We're again shooting on location. London isn't easy. We're not in the suburbs. We're shooting in high-profile central London locations. So we begin our shoot, very cash, she's in character, emotional scene. We'll go to Camden Park, shoot the scene. Then everybody unit location change where we have to shoot a 10-page scene with Gulshan, with Rajesh Telang, with Janhvi, daylight matters, location permission nahi hai, crowd going through Brick Lane. The unit has just gotten there.
Yeah.
For some of them, it's their first time. They haven't even seen the locations because one can't afford to. Unlike when you're shooting in Bombay, you can't afford to fly the whole team out to get busy.
Yeah.
But our job was to pretend as though this is normal, it's achievable, and we're going to get the job done. And what I had in my cast were true partners. So when she was getting up and participating in, for lack of a better word, ADing or facilitating the movement of those scenes, I didn't look at it as above and beyond. I didn't. I looked at it as this is what it takes. It takes the village.
We were like gorilla shooting the whole thing. It felt
I was like, "आ जाओ यार, सबकी film है, then सबकी film है, अभी घुसो." Everybody is allowed to help with whatever. If you see something, say something, because together that film gets made.
But that's amazing. Did that make you, in a strange way, fall like more in love with just the whole aspect of
It
filmmaking?
definitely gave
And
me
did you feel shortchanged up until now?
No, I think they've spoilt me. I think everyone at Janhvi has spoilt me, him included. I think that I felt so empowered as an actor, as a creative person. I think that I've never had so much agency as a female actor on any set. I felt invested, like the fact that I had guts to advise Gulshan on what to do, or like about what my ideas could be.
I'm
Clearly,
very approachable.
no, I'm not. But no, what I meant to say is, Gulshan, you're a very
Senior actor.
You're a senior actor. So for me to
Yeah,
be
I have
like,
some grey hair, yeah.
no, Gulshan, that's not what I mean.
On my chest.
There you go.
I'm not telling
नहीं
you the rest
सुधरेगा,
of the
नहीं
places.
सुधरेगा.
अभी इस पे कैसे हंसूं मैं? क्या बोलो ही ही ही.
I mean, we don't vibe, yeah, it's okay, but we did a
Janhvi,
good job together.
you cannot compliment him. He does not accept it. He will defend it and deflect it.
Anyway, so I
About
think,
feeling empowered as a female
yeah,
actor.
so I was घुसावing in everything, and I don't know उसका नतीजा क्या है, but I think it got me into the practice of having a voice. Which I think is a good habit for any female to inculcate, and more often than not in this business and in most professional environments, you're discouraged from having too much of a voice. They gave me too much of a voice, and I felt really cool about it. I felt nice. I felt like even if half of my ideas were shit, it felt good to be able to say it out loud and hear what they sounded like and see them being implemented and see, being in a room with such thorough professionals and seeing my ideas being taken seriously and considered in itself was a great joy. I enjoyed that working environment.
I think that was the beginning of our workshop process when we started. For me, that was key to becoming Suhana, was taking charge of the room, taking charge of the situation. She's a very empowered character who just, really believes in herself. And for me, that I see Janhvi and Suhana hand in hand.
Yeah.
I don't really, for me,
Well, now, not the girl that you met at the start.
yeah,
of the
but
shoot.
for me, part of preparing myself, in workshops, sometimes it's about the actors finding the role. For me as a director, it's about finding the characters in them. How do we merge? And sometimes you rewrite and sometimes you tweak and sometimes you take things from each of their lives and put it back into the character so it gives them something to use. And for me, watching Janhvi become Suhana was also about watching Suhana become Janhvi until there was no difference. And a big part of that for me was, as a man, if I'm going to direct this film about this very central experience, I'd be a fool not to take advantage of her instincts, not to take advantage of her life experiences, which are directly overlapping with Suhana's.
Speaking of that, I just really want to talk, and I know I messaged you after I saw the trailer as well, about just the intensity in your eyes. Like when you say, "Ye bakri pura ka pura sher ban jayegi," I believed you.
खा
Dave.
जाएगी.
खा जाएगी. I completely believed you, but what were you channeling to tap into that rage, and what was the direction
I
from...
kept her hungry that day. And that's just,
Oh, please, give her also some credit. She's a professional actor. I kept her hungry. I wanted them to meet for a...
Guys, there was no hunger involved. You cannot keep Janhvi Kapoor hungry. It's not a thing.
No, but like he said, personal experiences, being a professional actor, but where were you tapping in to get to that point of rage?
I'd spent so much time with the material, I think, discussing the material, building on the material, building on her character. And I think the way that we shot it, fortunately, we shot that portion after having lived, like it was quite linear the way that we shot it. So I'd lived a lot of her journey. So it did come from a very personal place. And I find this more often than not, and maybe it's in my head, but I find a very direct overlap with my characters and the state of my life at that time.
Yeah.
I've said this
You've
before,
talked
and
about
I
this.
find it ironic. I think maybe I'm looking too deeply into things, but the way that Suhana was feeling, kind of violated, kind of cheated, kind of down and out, very low on self-esteem, was very similar to the way that I was feeling at the time that I shot this scene. You know this.
Yeah, no, and that was the joy of, again, the joy of having actors who are willing to be vulnerable,
And I
who
don't-
don't look at it as a day job. I can't direct this way. For me, it's not a job. It is a 24/7, it's my being. So, you know, Gulshan, for example, has a very opposite approach. It's a healthier approach that you can use and actually have a life. That's not my approach.
Oh, the 9 to 7 thing.
Yeah, he's like, no, 7 baje ke baad mein ye nahi. And I'm like, what is 7 baje? I don't know when it's 7 baje. I have a 3 baje ka idea now. What do I do? I have to be awake till 9 a.m. before I can share it. And Gulshan's like, yes, that's healthy. This is what one must do. Boundaries. Like
It took you a while to get here?
No, I've been doing this for a few years, like 4 or 5 years now. So all the people who I work with, like my publicist or my manager, they don't message or call me before 9 a.m. or after 7 p.m. And sometimes even important matters, we'll discuss this tomorrow. If it's life-threateningly important, or if it's like call times, if I'm on set, then I will break that rule. But otherwise, it helps me sort of find some kind of a sense of balance. Otherwise, like, you know, I want to be very accessible, but I also want to be able to access myself. Time to do things on my own, you know, be it thinking or just not doing anything. So I don't want to sort of, I know that people will feel that, oh, you will lose out on things. None of those things have really happened, and if they happened also, it's all right. I mean, it's okay. As long as I'm able to be balanced, I'm happy. So the people who work with me, including him, he accommodated that. So thank you for that.
I did call it 9 a.m. though. Not at 9:05. Call it 9.
You know, I have to say that just that promotional image of Janhvi with the finest, like, male actors sort of empowering and supporting you
Yeah.
was just such a kick-ass image. So thank you for making that happen.
Thank you to all these actors, which I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Talk to me about the casting.
Oh my God, Jogi is our casting
I feel
director.
she's supporting all of us. I don't know why you think we are supporting her.
Me? Oh, me? No. What do you
No,
mean?
but
It's a
it was
privilege that
a-
I was put in this poster and I had all of your.
No.
performance.
I was like, yeah.
But it was really cool. How did you go about like
so-
getting these faces together?
I mean, you know, obviously the journey started with the script, right? And I'm very, very like, part of directing each day, it's your last, is directing each film like it's your last.
Yeah.
So there's all these actors you notice as you watch other content and you start putting them in your bucket list. And then I'm really greedy and very aggressive during casting. And typically a studio will let you go with 2 or 3 above the line names, and then you have to start pulling from really good talent, but maybe not talent which has that body of work.
Sure.
I just threw that rule out of the window like right away. And there was a particular order in which I was casting because I knew if I grab this now, if I don't grab this name for this part now, I'm not going to get it later. Because there's always budgets and funds allocated to that casting process. And I'm so lucky again with Jungli that they just let me keep going. Every time we think, okay, now it's time to go to featured cast, I'd be like, no, we have to. And each of the actors, whether it's Jitendra Joshi, whether it's Gemini Pathak, whether it's Ali Khan or Rajesh Telang or Adil Hussain, like, you know, I just kept asking and the universe just conspired. I think every time we'd close one, I'd like message Janhvi saying, we got X for this part. And she'd be like, what? And I'm like, we got X for this part. I'm like, what? I just kept going. And again, going to set each day on this film, be like, who are we working with today? And it would be a different group and a different bunch. And just the energy they brought to the set was so exciting.
The expertise. Yeah.
And I saw Janhvi's performance change exponentially basis who was in the scene with her.
How do you mean?
I mean, she's just responds to energy. Roshan's energy, completely different from Gulshan, completely different from Adil, completely different from Jeetu, completely different from Rajesh Telang. And depending on who was on the scene, it's almost like I would see her morph in that way. And you know, you can't always get everything right. And the 1 or 2 times I screwed up with casting, I saw the impact it had also. And I was like, oh dear Lord, Jay, we have to save the day.
I know the days that you're talking about.
And so she'd just look at me like, really, like,
Not just me and Shreya both.
no, Shreya was charitable, more charitable. But Jay would be like, really? This is what you
Shreya
want
was
me to
not
do?
charitable. She was huffing and puffing
Shreya
and sighing.
is, by the way, is
Ah,
our
behind the
cinematographer.
camera.
photography.
Like if you really look, you can see her sigh with the camera.
She can, and then sometimes she thinks she's speaking to herself, but everyone can hear it. So there are times that I've just walked by saying, look, the actors can hear you. But again, speaking of,
We must not speak ill.
no, I'm not speaking ill. I'm
Now
talking.
they're gonna watch the film and they're gonna be like, who are they talking about?
No, I'm talking about her, her passion. Like, you don't make a film like this without just amazing
We've
people.
exposed too much in this. We've really come and fell out. Gulshan's like, I don't get along with her. I'm like, they told
I
me to
didn't
go
say
to
get along. They get along
They
perfectly
said-
fine.
Vibe.
I love
He's
it.
like, there were some actors that were awful. Like, what are we doing on this
They
yellow
get along
couch?
perfectly fine.
After 8 years, I thought I had done every type of interview, and then I walk into this.
Your finale episode is quite
Your
juicy.
finale episode, huh? Yeah.
Which I just found out is your finale episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna miss you.
I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere.
We'll see a lot of her.
Of course you will.
I'm sure we
Well,
will.
in
But
a
you
way,
know,
in a different
the
way.
last time you and I talked, you talked to me about how you can do all the PR in the world and your surname can be whatever, but at the end of the day, it's the public perception of you that matters. Have you sort of kind of cracked this perception game, or does it get really exhausting for you?
I don't know. I understand it better.
Okay.
Not only public perception can be two things. One from within the industry, how people
Yeah.
who give you jobs, who create opportunities for you, what perception they have of you.
Sure.
To some extent, you can try and manipulate that, and to some extent, you can manipulate the perceptions of people also by dressing up nicely and having good hairstyle and hair and makeup and all of that, and lip balm.
Lip
So,
balm.
yeah, lip
Got
balm.
it.
Yeah. So, but to some extent you don't. I understand it better because I also know that I can't really break my head over it, because after a point you can't really control it. People are, will form their opinion, and then that's something that I don't want to be bothered about. I want to focus on what I'm doing. I want to try and have fun, and just focus on that, and not focus on what people will think of it, whether it will be successful, whether they like it or not like it. When I'm on set, when I'm performing in front of the camera, there are two things I really care about. Do I feel good? Am I having fun? And is he okay with the take? Does he have his takes? What he wants? These are the only things I really care about. And right now, I'm sitting here having a conversation with you all. Yeah, we're promoting the film. I'm just trying to have a good time. And I'm sad that it's your last interview, but I'm also hopeful that we'll get to see you in a different format. And I'm curious to see, how we will meet again and under what circumstances. So I just want to be in this moment and enjoy this for what it is.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And you know what I'm going to ask you now? If I'd asked you 1 year ago, you would have possibly flinched. But the new, self-assured Janhvi, who knows exactly what she brings to the table, and quoting from the trailer, I'm going to ask you, surname के अलावा आपके पास क्या है?
Oh.
Surname.
Glassy skin hai, the porcelain skin hai. Please
How
tell
will
us
you take
how you
that
get
now?
such beautiful skin.
सरनेम के अलावा मैं जानती हूँ मेरे पास क्या है, लेकिन मैं खुद का ढिंडोरा नहीं पीटना चाहती, तो आप इनसे पूछे सरनेम के अलावा मेरे पास
बहुत
क्या
है यार, मजेदार. इतना मतलब hard work.
Very hardworking. Extreme. I envy and I also respect people who can hard work, because I am a lazy basketball player. So yeah, so I'm very lazy when I'm playing basketball. So she laughed.
Gulshan, I have laughed at some of your
Hussy
jokes.
to
You can't
pussy.
take it
Except I have never.
personally.
No, you were laughing at me like he thinks he's funny. Anyway, no, I don't care. So I really don't care.
Make up your mind.
I don't care. I saw her laughing at it. So
Truly care.
shit, man, I completely lost the plot. What are you talking
She's
about?
Surname के
hardworking.
अलावा.
She's extremely hardworking, and
Hardworking
you
is
have to
something
be-
you say
No,
कि
and
वो
it's
मुझे-
not like the circumstance demands hard work. Like the circumstance demands hard work from all of us. It's not just that. There is work that she puts into a scene, her character, and all of that. And as professional actors, we are willing to do. But there is work that is beyond that also, that one has to put on self, on their careers and things. And it takes a lot of planning, thought, choices, and risks. And she's always doing something, like, which is why we never had a day where Janhvi is chilling with us or something like that, because she's always working. Like even today, she was doing something and then she came here, and then I'm sure after this she'll go and do something else.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason why I'm not going after you, because you're late. Because I know that she's not she's extremely hardworking. I have total respect for people who put that kind of work, and I've seen her, I've seen Deepika when I was working with her. Such hardworking people. I envy it, and I also feel like this is not for me. I appreciate it when other people are doing, but I know that I cannot function like that.
You just talked about how you love doing nothing.
Yeah, I really value that.
When's the last time you did nothing? That's a thing,
Do
you
it
know.
now, do it now.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
See, my observation is right.
No,
Thank
I have to say, she is so hard on herself. She is very hardworking. She's extremely aware of her privilege. She's aware of the opportunities that have come her way. But what is so fun to see is that she catches the ball every time and dunks it. She doesn't just do the layup. She wants to make sure she nailed it. Rarely satisfied, which is like, these are all things that I find extremely healthy. So, I need therapy, but that's something else. So I'm like, perfect, great. We're never satisfied, great, fantastic, let's keep going. And so, there were days where there was this one 10-minute scene in the grocery store in London for which I shot 22 masters, which is literally 220 minutes of acting back to back non-stop. And because Roshan won't say anything and Janhvi won't say anything to me, I'm like, yeah, this is normal. This is like completely healthy workspace. And Roshan comes and tells me, like, I think I can do one more take and then I'm going to have a headache. I'm just letting you know. And I was like, oh, is this a lot? Because with Janhvi, not once, never will she come and say, I'm tired. She's always thinking I can do better.
So when is the last time you did nothing?
You're going to cry.
I see a lot of. I just want to say that there's always a price to pay, and some people are willing to pay the price. They understand it completely. They comprehend. They accept it, and then like, yeah, there is a price to pay. As in, your health. You don't have time for anything else, and a lot of things. Like there is. But there are also some other people who understand is like myself, and like I'm not willing to pay that price. I'll pay itna theek hai, but wo nahi hoga mujhse. So I always respect people. I have this respect and understanding of what it takes, because it's a 24/7 job. It's like a job.
Not
of course,
9 to
people are
7.
passionate about the work that they do and their careers, but it's all consuming. It's all consuming. It's constantly. You don't have time for anything else. Yeah, I don't keep in touch with my friends, but that's it. But then there are people who have to pay higher price, bigger price than that, and that awareness also kind of, I think a lot of people don't have that awareness. So it's easy for somebody to sit and just be critical of
No,
this and that.
Absolutely in awe. In fact, are
Because
you
you're
going
not
to say
aware of the
anything?
price
I don't know what
that one pays, because and it's different for different people. It's not the same.
Absolutely. But would you have it any other way?
No, I don't. I mean, I really, and Gulshan said all of this yesterday as well, and it really did feel good. And I felt quite moved by it because he's, I think, such an accomplished artist. And for someone like that to recognize that you are putting in the work means a lot. And I do take great pride in my work ethic. I know that I'm occasionally tardy, but that is more often than not also a result of the work. But I don't know what to say. I can't be like, oh, it's hard. I can never be like that, because it's what I signed up for. It's what I want to do, and it's not. I'm enjoying all of it. I don't know I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, I'm working hard, but we're all working hard. Gulshan says he doesn't work hard. He does work hard.
No, I
Maybe.
work hard on my job, not otherwise.
So I'm also working hard on my
I'm
job.
not. I'm very
only.
laid
The job
back
is
and
all
fair.
encompassing.
Yeah.
That's
Like
also
when
what
I'm
he's
doing
saying.
a scene, like if for a character for a film, I'll work as like
There's
as
a
hard as
lot.
anybody else.
There's a lot that someone like Janhvi has to do in order for a person like me to be able to get the budget one needs to tell the story. I think she's smart enough to know the job doesn't end with action and cut. There's everything else that goes into that persona.
Which is why I say we are not supporting her. Janhvi is supporting us. All those people and him you see on the poster, and
Yeah.
She's supporting us.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And finally, I'll ask you, I'll actually end with a note that I saw you post for Sudhanshu after you had wrapped shoot, where you mentioned that thank you for giving me the ability to fight fights that I didn't think I had the right to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of what I'd said earlier. I was fighting on things like locations sometimes, scenes, dialogues, actors, what plugins we're using in the film, how the shot should. I was fighting on things that really what the number of extras we were getting on a certain amount of day. Like I was
Are you
fighting
for
on,
real?
yes, I
No,
was,
but you can't have it two both ways. I can't call her my partner when it's convenient and then relegate her to the position of actor when it's convenient. That doesn't work.
I fought with him also so many times.
So many times. That's
We've
part of
had
the thing.
such heated creative debates about how a scene should be, how it shouldn't be, how it's written. We've attempted writing scenes.
For sure, we've done workshops that have ended with fever dreams in which monologues have been spoken, written, reworked, brought
Atul
back.
sir's
Workshop, yeah,
workshops, you're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it. So in one of the sessions of Dhyan that I was doing, I wasn't happy. I think none of us were at the way that the arc of Suhana was ending and what she had to say. I kept feeling like there's something more emotional about the journey that she's had that we need to underline. And we just couldn't think of what it was. And we were doing Dhyan one day. And and this sounds so corny and stupid, but it just kind of came to me and I woke up and I was like, Suds, record this or like write it down. And we literally, like I said all of it. And then we of course built on that, but that's how the end
that's-
monologue came.
How lucky am I to watch an actor care enough to become the character in front of my eyes? And now once you can push them and facilitate that process and get to that place, each of those instincts become so valuable. As a writer, I have to close my eyes and imagine what Suhana would say. And here I have a three-dimensional actor with instincts and lived experiences and whose singular focus is to ensure this particular character is three-dimensional and taken care of and has a full life and is genuine and can come at it with her age and gender and all of that. And it's no different from when we were doing costumes and hair and makeup and things with Gulshan. Choices were being made every day. Sometimes in places where he wouldn't even, it wasn't even a conscious decision. For me, it was about absorbing all of that, popping it back into the script. So the next time they showed up, those sides would come with, the trailer you saw.
Yeah.
For me, one of the most iconic lines in the trailer, other than the Bakri, is the one where, Gulshan has his gesture. That was came out of one of our improvisations. Because at a certain point, the actor becomes the character more than you could ever, your job is to get them there, then to watch, imbibe, steal, take, learn. And if you're lucky, and that environment can be created where an actor cares enough to take ownership in that way, you'd be stupid not to take advantage of it.
Yeah. And
I have a question. So, will I be able to Google the film companion review of this film?
no,
No?
But why?
because they will. Okay.
Are you going to like
Oh
cry?
my
No,
God.
Are you like tearing up?
No.
Stop, don't make her conscious.
But really, I mean, there's a reason I say I have the best job in the world, because just to be able to sit and watch the three of you talk with so much love about this thing that you've made really, really is the reason why I have
Can
the
I
best job
contest
in
that?
the
So
world.
sweet.
No, there is no better job.
I have the best job in the world.
We can
I
fight
get
this
to play,
off camera.
I get to play imaginary characters.
It's true, and she got to play her childhood dream of becoming a spy.
Spy.
So really, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
talking to
so
me,
much.
and all the best for Ulajh.
Thank you so much.
And to the rest of you who have watched me for 8 years and supported me, thank you so much for helping me find me. Thank you.
So sweet. Can we hug?
Oh my God, no.